Hi, this is Mark. Congratulations. You have found this amazingly awesome show. Chances are you're listening to it right now on whether it's iTunes or Stitcher Radio or some other mobile app that allows you to stream this amazingly awesome show to your ear holes. And I can't stress how awesomely amazing this show really is. But did you know that you can also catch the latest episode of this show on the Tangibound Network? That's right. Go check out tangiboundnetwork.com. You can look them up and you can listen to it right there. It's even mobile friendly. What more could you ask for? Which means you can pull it up on your iPhone or your Android, even your Windows phone. Yeah, who has one of those? But still, point remains, you can do it. You can do it. Check it out, tangiboundnetwork.com. Listen to this show, the latest episode, every time. Check it out.
This is a Danger Entertainment podcast. DangerEntertainment.net. Danger Entertainment Podcast Network.
Welcome to the podcast from Temperance Town, the sexiest podcast of world renowned. Tony grows a beard to hide his chin, swaps it with Earl so it glistens.
Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier.
Download the pod, you won't get enough of these dapper chaps talking deadly fluff. In Hobo Gulch they run a homeless mission, clanging and banging with the pentagram of kittens.
Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier.
They enjoy their whiskey and local craft beer. By Odin's unkempt pubis we give a cheer. Tony's a raccoon when he's booziest. Don't be a savage, be an enthusiast.
Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier.
On the frozen tundra they call it a lock. Tony likes to masturbate in a sock. Brian pisses rocks cause it feels so great. I still don't know who the fuck is Tate.
Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier.
The boys will let you know when there's a Spurler. Due to male pattern baldness, they don't wear curlers. Stay salty, people, that's their closing line. And don't forget, have a beer, you'll be fine.
Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. Salty language.
Hey enthusiasts, what's happening? This is Salty Language, episode 270.
The 270? The sexiest podcast on
There you
network.
go. Yeah, I was like, the 270th?
I'm like, that's horrible. Usually I've got one almost lined up, but I just pulled up Dude Mountain and then realized I picked horribly for last night's game.
Fair enough.
So I was very disappointed in myself.
Yeah, that's all right. It happens.
Yeah, it happens. Anyway, we'll cover Dude Mountain later, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. You know.
Yeah.
Ugh.
For sure. Hey, Brian, how's it going, man?
What? Yeah, not too bad. Been, like my week's been pretty meh, although, like, there's one thing, it's weird. Like, the things I've gotten excited about, sometimes, have you ever had one of those things where you get, like, really excited about something and then you're like, I need to rein it in? Like, like, you're overreacting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been there.
So, I listened to the Not Safe podcast, the podcast with Nikki Glazer.
Oh, right.
And she's got a friend of hers that's a comedian also. I think his name's Brian Frange. And he also does like a blog on apples. like actual apples. Like he
Like
tastes
the fruit.
Yeah, the fruit. He tastes different apples and then reviews them essentially, and he gets excited about apples and tells people about, upcoming ones. And they've been talking for a while about these apples that were about to come out because fall's, here, called Sweet Tangos. Have you ever had one of these?
I've never had one, but
Okay.
I really am a fan of the name.
Okay, and it's SWEETANGO. So if you want to look them up online or whatever.
Like when I'm dancing.
Yeah, sweet.
He's doing that sweet tango.
Right, that's your actual, I think that's your dancer name, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I left that world behind, but yes.
Tony, you can never, your heart's there though. We know it.
Yeah. This
Your
is true.
feet may not be, but your heart is still there.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's been talking about these for a while now, about how they're coming up and how they're the best apple. And before that, like, I think his number one apple was Honeycrisp, which I know you've had.
Yeah, for sure.
And I enjoy a Honeycrisp apple. The only issue I have with them is, for my palate, they're a tad too tart sometimes. Like,
Right.
and I can't, like, if it's a bigger one, I can't eat the whole one. I have to cut it in half and eat half and then, the other half later. Anyway, so I'm at the store the other day and I happened to see Sweet Tangos at the store. So I'm like, well, I gotta get down on these because this guy's telling me that it's the greatest apple he's ever had,
Right.
And, so, I'm a little odd. I'm a person who, when I'm going to have an apple, I put it in the fridge. Cause I like my apples cold.
Nothing wrong with that.
I don't necessarily I'll eat them room temperature, but I prefer an apple cold,
So, like, if you were a pilgrim, you would put them in a barrel and sunk them in the river.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So, anyway, so I get the thing out and I have it, and yeah, it really is my favorite apple.
Really?
Yeah, it's not as tart as a Honeycrisp, but it's still really sweet. It's a light, kind of almost light, refreshing apple, and there's something a little extra to it too. I was trying to find, I'm reading on their list the way they describe them, and I can't find what it is. But anyway, it's still. But yeah, I really have dug them, and I've enjoyed. Unfortunately, I'm down to 2, and they're only available in early fall, as it were. So if you're gonna get them, you have to get out and get them, because from what I understand, they sell fast. Like they go quick, and so yeah. Anyway, so I found myself getting really excited when I first, I take a bite of this apple, and I was like, this is a great apple, and I'm just like, I almost was like, I have to, I almost found myself like taking a picture of it and tweeting it out. And I'm like, slow down. Like so I sent Frange and the Sweet Tango people on Twitter. I included them in it, and saying, hey, there's
a Sweet Tango people.
Yeah, on Twitter, sure.
Sounds like a gang.
Well, might be a gang of people who enjoy great apples. Anyway,
Fair.
but I really, where is it? They, the University of Minnesota, I'm sorry. It says on their website, struck gold by marrying the Honeycrisp and Zestar varieties of apples. And, yeah, anyway, so, the Sweet Tango apple gets at least the Bryan seal of approval. So
Now, see, it's funny.
Yeah.
Because we went apple picking like 2 weeks ago. It's something we do every year.
Sure. Yep.
Because it's honestly one of Jeannie and I's first dates.
Right.
We went to the apple orchard.
Right.
So it's just become a yearly tradition. We take the kids, we go get them from the trees, not from the store like all you lazy cocksuckers.
Right, like me. Right.
Well, no, the people that drive to the orchard and then buy a bag of apples at the orchard store.
I see.
I want to throw them down a hill.
Oh, see, that's who I would be. I don't want to go through the effort.
Oh, but anyway. But,
yeah.
it's so worth it though.
Welcome to Applecast, and not the
Yeah,
electronics.
But I've been staying away from apples because I'm doing the whole like keto thing.
Yeah.
And apples are super not keto.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But
I think
we have this big fucking bag of apples, and it's like,
I think you gotta. We're at the right time of year for the apples,
I think I'm gonna do. I mean, my favorite snack used to be apple and peanut butter.
Yeah,
right. Slice that bitch up, put a big dollop in the middle.
Sure.
Well, it's taken me a month to undo the damage a week did of Jamaica.
Right.
But I think I'm having an apple tomorrow.
Yeah, I think you should.
I got some sick almond butter from Costco waiting for me.
Right. See, I think if you're at the store and you see some of these, I think you should at least get one and give it a try.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because it's a really tasty
I'm a golden
apple.
delicious guy myself.
Are you? All right.
Yeah. If it's not generally I thought about getting one of those Tupac stomach tattoos that said, if it's not golden delicious, go fuck yourself.
That's a lot to fit.
Too many
right
letters.
Barely, but it's close. Unless you have a really big torso.
Sure, I don't.
Yeah.
I have a short torso.
Maybe.
Jeannie tells me I have a long torso.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe,
I don't know.
Maybe just start at the neck and run it across, all the way down.
That's true.
That
might not be bad.
With and have them do like a faded golden delicious, like right in the middle of your chest.
Nice.
Or there you go. There's your tattoo. You just get a chest tattoo of a golden delicious with wings and shit. Like it looks like an Affliction shirt, but it's
an apple.
But it's an apple.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's got a worm coming out of it, and the worm's got tribal tattoos.
Oh, jeez. Of course. Why wouldn't it?
So, what are these things called? Sweet Tango.
Sweet Tango. Yeah. There's only one T in it. It's not Sweet Tango. It's Sweet Tango.
Sweet Tango.
Right.
I'm not saying I'm an apple expert.
Right.
But there's an orchard that goes out of the farmer's market, and they have apples I've never heard of, and I've never seen that one.
These, I think, are exclusive. I don't know if they're exclusive to Minnesota or not, but that's where I think they all come from Minnesota. So that may be why you haven't seen them.
Oh, we should ask Megan from Screams and Moans, because until she moves to England in a week or whatever, she was a Minnesotan.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Because they're actually there's a copyright or trademark or whatever it is on these by the University of Minnesota. So I don't know if they're grown elsewhere. And I didn't look at my apples to see where they come from this time, but normally I do because I try to buy Michigan apples, because we live in Michigan. So
support local.
Well, that too. Support
plus
local.
Fresh and delicious.
Yeah, I was going to say, plus they haven't been shipped across the country from Washington.
Exactly.
Yeah. But these, I was just like, I have to try.
Directly from the tree.
Right.
My hand to the tree.
Okay, hipster. What? But yeah, anyway, I found myself very excited by an apple, which is ridiculous. But it was so tasty.
I'm not going to fault you because every year this time of year, it's like, fuck yeah. Apple
because it's, because there's nothing worse than when you buy apples at other times of the year and they're mealy, you bite into them and they're like, oh, it's like, they're still okay, but they're not like that nice.
They're usually dog shit.
Yeah. And like this one, I bit into it and it had that snap and it was crisp and tart, sweet. It was,
The only year-round apple that I've ever been like, wow, this still tastes like an apple.
Yeah.
Is Costco carries Pink Ladies year-round.
Okay. Yeah.
And every time you get them, they have that snap and they're sweet like it should be. And it's weird.
Yeah.
Because I never expect to get a good apple in the middle of summer.
No, I don't either. Yeah.
And you shouldn't. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, really. Not unless they've been altered to be better at that time of year, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. God damn.
But
fucking scratch something off my hand. I'm bleeding like a fucking.
Oh, you're fine. Jeez.
God damn. What is this? The beaches of Normandy?
Maybe. It's pretty
Holy
close.
Shit.
It's a tragedy, but or a triumph. We'll see. Depends on which side of history you were on.
Good point. I actually think it's great you're amped about an apple. I'll be honest.
Yeah, because
it's
apples are
like that.
Yeah, they're one of my favorite things. Anyway, I love apples.
Since we're talking apple breeds,
yeah.
Have you ever had an Arkansas Black?
I have not. No,
they're fucking delicious, mate.
Maybe we need to have an apple tasting. We'll just get a bunch of apples and we'll just taste all of them.
Hey, sounds good. Bring it on.
I actually would do that. I would love to taste other apples, and I do a lot of times. Like if I see them, in places. I'll be like, oh, I've never had those, so I'll buy one and just try it. You know,
If you could either A, just stay awake, or B, be up in time to go to the farmer's market with us, this
Yeah.
orchard, they put out samples of all their apples.
which makes total sense, right?
Because,
yeah.
well, you try and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And then you end up coming home with like a crate of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
That's why, normally, we shit on grocery stores a lot, but one of the things I absolutely
On or in?
yes. One of the things I loved was there's a chain of stores around here called Meijer, and in their apple section, right above the apples, they have, a card that describes the taste and whether they're better for like baking or they're better for snacking or, whatever. Which is such an awesome idea because most people look at apples and they're like, I don't know what the hell's going on with these
It's
things.
green.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So now you can look at this and go, oh, these ones are better for baking. Grab those. And, I thought that was a good idea to kind of inform people a little bit. Plus the taste, like these are, more tart. Because you know how it is. A lot of people don't like tart apples. They like the sweeter apples.
Yeah. Well, they're like, oh, and look at this delicious green apple. Not realizing it's a Granny Smith. And you bite into it and it's like getting punched in the face.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
That is too tart for me. They're good for other things, but
Oh, it's a pie apple.
it is, absolutely.
Ask my ninja pie baking wife.
Wait, your wife bakes?
I know. Rumor has it.
Huh.
Jeannie of Salty Language.
Right. The first lady of space violence.
Yeah. And space pies.
Space pies. Space pies sounds like something Little Debbie would have put out, doesn't it?
It does, actually.
Like it's a mirror. It's like oatmeal cream pie and a Star Crunch kind of had a kid.
Wait,
Space
why
pies.
haven't they done this?
Well, I do because I'm a fat son of a bitch. I just mush two together. And, no.
You can't tell me a Star Crunch or whatever the fuck it is with some of that oatmeal filling in the middle.
Oh yeah.
Not the oatmeal cake. Just give me the filling.
Right, of course.
Mush between two Star Crunch, Star Crunch Eye, if you will.
Right. I like
Wouldn't
this
it be
idea.
delicious?
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna buy a box of both. Scrape the filling out of the oatmeal cream pie and put it between two Star Crunches.
Yeah, exactly.
Delicious.
I mean, once those oatmeal cream pies hit the air for 5 minutes, just put your drink on it. That's all they're good for.
Yeah, that's true. God, I've eaten so many of those in my life, though. I'm probably half oatmeal cream pie.
That's a cool power.
Is it though? Is it cooler than my Christmas tree power? I doubt it.
Check out Salty Language Best of Brian's Mutant Power
Yeah.
on YouTube. Oh,
What?
are we done with Apple Talk?
I mean, this is Applecast, so I mean, it's gonna be Apple Talk the whole time. But
So, I am. Maybe I'll Periscope it. I'm having an apple tomorrow. God damn it!
I like it. It's a good call. I'm gonna have an apple tomorrow too. I'm gonna have one in a few hours, actually, probably too. I use them. I know it's probably not. It's not the best thing because of the sugar count and whatnot. But I enjoy them late at night when I'm like, I'm hungry because the apple, the fiber and stuff.
You're better off to have the apple than the apple juice.
True.
Because at least
yeah.
with all the sugars are tied in with the fiber and.
Yeah,
So
right.
if you're just drinking a juice, you might as well just be like smoking meth. Basically.
That's true. Well, usually I cut the apple in half and just slather some peanut butter across the top of it and just
Yeah,
So,
there you go.
although
Booyah.
I'll say with the sweet tangos, there's been no peanut butter unless I do it for just the, the protein and the fat from the peanut butter.
Right.
But otherwise, I'm just going naked with them, and
Total
I'm
dude.
nothing on the apple.
You're just raw dogging it.
yeah, I am. I told you I was excited.
I know. I think it's fantastic,
Yeah.
my friend.
There was an orchard in my pants.
Oh my.
Oh my. Anyway, so moving on.
So I know it's a little early in the show, but I think we got some business.
Business. Sorry.
Business.
Business.
Yeah, business.
Really? What kind of business do we have?
Well, I got all kinds actually.
Oh my God. All right.
I know, right?
I was unprepared for that. I would have brought my legal tablet and, my briefcase.
Well, the YouTube made me think of it. So my brain shifted into that gear.
That'll
Because check out our YouTube. I'm going to be making some playlists of our enthusiast episodes, our best of episodes, and I like Brian's idea we had off the air about breaking them into numerical chunks.
Yeah.
So if for some reason you want to go back and listen to our old dog shit, it'll be easier to listen to.
That's fair.
So
I can't
so I had
disagree
that
with you.
business.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Next business ahead.
Mhm.
was I actually wrote that blog I talked about a few episodes ago.
Oh, yeah, damn it. I haven't read it yet, so I can write my review, but
Yes,
yeah.
please do.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out what, because now I have the ball's in motion. I feel like I need to write another one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm going to write about, though. I've got a couple ideas wrote down, like something making fun of something pumpkin spice, but I feel like that's hack.
Ugh.
Or either that or just hitting the random button on like RedTube and reviewing videos.
I kind of like that idea.
I assume there's a random button. I really honestly don't know.
God, if there isn't, someone doesn't know how to live.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some sort of porn tube
Yeah.
provider that has a random button.
Right,
I'm sure.
Because one of my favorite / scariest things to do is go on Reddit and hit random.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, there has to be that in the porn world.
There's gotta
And
be, right?
I kind of thought about reviewing like 3 or 4 videos. I don't know.
Nice. I like this. Then I can write reviews of your reviews.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So that was more business. The blog is up, saltylanguage.com. It is aptly titled Fluff Garbage Bullshit.
Which is that going to be the official title going forward, or is that just
I made an image for the blog because I've been all over Photoshop.
You sure have.
Too.
I was gonna say, man, you've really been all over Photoshop lately,
dude. You don't even know. I made
all right.
We have a family fantasy football league going.
Yeah.
And like Logan's the coach, but it's our family represent. He represents our family.
Yeah.
But we're Team Awesome because that's what he's like. Well, that's what you and Mom always say, so that's what I named us.
Okay.
So I took an Avengers poster,
Right.
and I put all of our heads on the Avengers,
Right.
including that like Slade is Hawkeye.
Nice. I was just gonna say, please tell me the cat and dog are
Bell is
represented.
the Hulk.
That's appropriate. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I.
You should have went Guardians of the Galaxy, so you could have been Rocket.
Well, I went Avengers.
Yeah.
Because we're Team Awesome, and I took out the Avengers logo, and then I found the Avengers font,
Right.
and then put Team Awesome with the big A.
I kind of figured that's
and,
where you went, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So I don't know. I don't know what it was. Just diving into Photoshop again for some reason.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so blog was the second bit of business,
Right.
and then third bit of business is. Crushed it last month. I want to thank listeners and new listeners for checking us out and sharing us and all that.
Good call. I like that. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Way to make us feel good about what we do for free for you guys.
Right.
And then the fourth is I got to apologize to these listeners. Because some of you a while ago, I was like, hey, you guys want stickers and swag and shit? Send me your address. And some of you people did.
And I believe I warned people at the time not to buy into that because
I know.
Yeah, because you were just going to do vile things.
Well, my problem is it's out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So these addresses that people send me, they've been buried in the abyss of internet nonsense.
Yeah, that'll happen.
So if you want free swag, stickers, cards, maybe I'll go pick up some dollar store toys and throw them in. I don't know. Email us at freepodcastgarbage@gmail.com because for some reason that existed, so I picked it up.
I like it.
So, freepodcastgarbage@gmail.com if you want some free garbage.
Perfect.
And I swear,
okay, so
I will send stuff out.
All right. See, I like this idea because, like, we go to Beer Fest and we can grab swag. Like, anywhere we can grab stuff, we should grab stuff. And I don't mean, like...
Well, I have no issue with sending people other people's shit.
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying, is we should just be grabbing whatever swag we can and different things like that and just hand, like, flyers for an upcoming concert and just whatever.
Exactly. I mean, I'm looking at it. I have a Tupperware container over here full of stuff I've grabbed at Beer Fest.
Yeah.
I've got stuff upstairs on my night table.
Yeah.
I have just a pile of stuff from like Comic Cons and
right.
Yeah.
Like the worst loot crate ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it.
So yeah, email us at freepodcastgarbage@gmail.com and I will send you some stuff along with Salty Language stuff.
We need to start our own service called Salty Crate.
Salty Crate?
Yeah.
What would be themed monthly?
Sure,
like this would be the horror month, so it'd be what?
I was just thinking the theme every month would be useless crap, but
this month's theme is Useless shit again.
Yeah. Also useless crap. Like,
Yeah. Things I found in my junk drawer.
exactly. Things I found in my pants orchard.
Yeah.
You know? Whatever.
Pants orchard. Things from Grandma's candy dish.
That would be great. So yeah, I like this idea already. This is perfect.
Yeah. So I think that's all the business I had.
Okay. That's a good amount of business, though.
I know, right?
Ooh.
So I definitely want to make sure we got to it, because a lot of times I write shit down and we go off and we start talking about, like, you know, what if rhinos were homeless, and
Yeah.
it goes on a whole different thing.
Oh,
And
don't get me started on that again.
I know, right?
Anyway, we've never talked about that
But we might.
yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the other things, and I'm assuming you haven't, so I'll just kind of quickly touch on this, I assume. I'm assuming you haven't watched any of Luke Cage yet, right?
No, I
Okay.
have not.
So
Hopefully this weekend I'll start on it.
last night I was looking for something to watch, and then I was like, oh wait, Luke Cage is in here, so guess I'll be starting this. And 5 episodes later, I was like, I need to turn this off or I'm not sleeping until I finish this. And there's 13 episodes.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, so I'm, almost halfway through it, or a third of the way through it, depending on how you want to round. But
Right.
It's exactly what I wanted it to be.
Really?
I'm pretty happy.
So far,
with
it's got the stamp of approval.
Yeah, and I don't want to spurl anything, and I've got a major issue, but I don't want to spurl it right now. Wait until you watch it, then maybe we can talk about my major issue with it.
All right.
It's not so much that; it's just the Marvel shows in general. I've got a glaring issue with, but yeah. Anyway, so I've very much enjoyed it. And, the guy who plays Luke Cage is so good. And,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm going to spurl one thing, but I won't tell you context, is there's a scene with him with the tiara and old school outfit on.
No shit.
No shit. And it
That's
made
awesome.
me so happy when it happened.
Did he have a Jerry curl wig on?
He had a masterful afro.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It was perfect. I was so happy. Like I said, I know I kind of spurl something, but at the same time, like, people who don't know Power Man or Luke Cage may not necessarily know what is going on there, but those who do will be like, dude.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. So
Well, that makes me even want to watch it even more.
exactly.
Like, I might just pop it up in a corner window here and I'll
Yeah.
have to pay attention to the rest of the show.
Have to pay attention to this show, right? Yeah. You'll
Yeah.
just be watching that with subtitles on or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. Did you know, or anyway, all of the episodes are named after, songs, and the music in it is really good. Like, the music sets such a tone through the whole show. It's
really?
so, yeah, it's really well done. Like I said, I was really happy with it, but I won't say anymore, because if I do, I'll start accidentally spurling. So
Fair enough.
yeah. So, how about you? What's been up with you?
It's been a week. It's definitely been a week. I've, unlike the week before, I actually wrote some stuff down, so I remember stuff to talk about.
Right.
Huh?
Convenient.
Convenient is right. So earlier this week, right?
Yeah.
And like I say, I'm working, I'm doing my work thing, and I'm sitting at an intersection. I just happen to look over out my driver's side window, and there's I can only assume an older black male who's homeless, because it looked like he's carrying all his possessions on his back.
Okay.
Yeah, or he's pretending he's Santa Claus.
Either way.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But him and I, we made eye contact, right?
Right.
And the guy stiffened up and Nazi saluted me.
That's weird.
That's what I mean. I just started laughing,
Wow.
but it was bizarre.
Yeah.
I don't know if because, like, shaved head, beard. I don't know if he was like, wow, there's a white supreme. I don't know.
Yeah.
In his crazy homeless eyeballs.
It's
what he
amazing.
saw.
It's amazing he had that kind of insight, though. I mean,
Maybe.
Yeah. No.
It was just weird.
Yeah, I imagine so. it's not every day, I'm sure, that you're getting the old salute like that.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah.
I mean, I threw a tweet out about it because I'm attempting to get a little bit more into the Twitter again.
Right.
Like everything else in my life, it'll be a phase, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably.
You know,
tomorrow you'll be like, I'm done with this.
Yeah, like I try to read in the morning and tweet some stuff out. And
Yeah.
it's just like, and eventually I'll be like, fuck this.
Right. Exactly.
But,
it happens. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was homeless Hitler salute was weird.
Yeah, I certainly would think so.
Yeah. So I had that going for me. Today, oh God, today I walked in the house after a nice typical fist fuck Friday at work.
Right.
And I open, no one's home because it's, Leah's got a half day at school, so she was at the in-laws. And Logan was going to the football game today at school because it's a homecoming game, and he's going to homecoming tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, right.
Wow. Yeah.
Which that's a whole other story. Well, I guess I'll segue into this.
Okay.
Pulling Eric Palicki.
Nice.
So, he's got a date.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow he's going to, homecoming and yada, yada, yada. And Jeannie tells me, she's like, I need you to, talk to your son about condoms and stuff.
Right.
Because, he's going to dance with a girl. And,
Sure.
she's like, and apparently they had a whole conversation in the car.
Right. The poor kid. Yeah.
Poor kid. Yeah.
Right.
Which is just, it's hard for my brain to shift into like, oh, my kid's old enough. He might start slinging dick or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that you put it that way too. It's not. Yeah, it's just funny that it wasn't. Something like he may make tender love to some young unlucky lady. It's he's gonna be slinging dick.
All right, fair enough.
Your narcissism is so terrible it spreads to your kids.
It's a plague.
Yeah,
it's like my foot thing. You should see my daughter's foot.
Yeah. Ooh.
Jesus. Her
gotta...
foot's rotting and he's slinging dick. What is going on here?
Well, I guess it's better than her slinging foot.
It's true. Well, she's throwing axe kicks or something.
Well, that I'm in for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially with that foot. Can you imagine you go to fight her and, I've always wondered that, like in MMA and all that kind of stuff, like, do any of those guys get like, terrible foot fungus and spread that? Like,
I'm sure, man.
That's gotta be awful, right? Can you imagine getting kicked in the face and getting some weird infection from some guy's awful foot?
It'd be like Dragon Ball Z or any anime when you yell your attack. It'd be like Necrofoot, and, right across the face.
Yeah, basically. Like, oh Jesus, what is that? Would you step in Swamp Thing? What the hell?
Exactly. She's like, Jesus, I just got head kicked by the Walking Dead.
Anyway, back to your homecoming.
Shit. Where was I?
You said.
Oh yeah. So he's doing a homecoming thing. But so I came home because no one was here. Jeannie had the kids because she had to go buy him like dress pants and take him to the football game tonight.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. So, but I unlocked the door and it wasn't terribly late than anyone normally gets home. But there were people here before I got here. Like Logan was home, and all I smell is the refreshing, wafting smell of dog shit.
Wonderful.
Right. And we kennel her when we leave, because if not, she likes to chew shit.
Sure. Yeah.
Even now.
Right. Stuff like couches and
she's
drywall.
Never done that, but we don't want to take her chances.
Right. Yeah. You come home, she's just moving the couch around like it's a chew toy.
Yeah, exactly. And she's never had, She happily goes inside her cage, so it's not like we're throwing her in. It's never a punishment. It's,
right.
We're leaving. This is where you go.
Mm-hmm.
Just for your dog lovers out there.
Right.
But yeah, it always smells dog shit. It's like, oh God. So I thought she got loose somehow and,
sure.
took a nice steamer somewhere.
Well, like most of us will do when we get loose.
Yeah, it's true.
Sure.
But no, she was in her kennel and she was like in the corner. And I don't know what happened, but I mean, I know it was raining a lot today, so I'm assuming Logan let her out, and she was like, I'm not shitting in the yard because it's pouring rain.
Right. I mean, I generally don't go outside when it rains, so.
But, dude, It was atrocious. We've got old sheets that we put in there for lay on.
Yeah.
They're out in the garbage can. There was so much dump on them.
I was waiting for something like that, or they're in the fire pit.
I wouldn't even do that to the fire pit.
Nice.
And then I had to disassemble the kennel and take it outside and hose it off and wipe it down, and it's not what I wanted to come home to. I walked out, I'm unlocking the door thinking, man, I'm hungry. I'm going to make some food.
Well, there you go. Problem
no,
solved.
You're going to clean up Dog Loaf, which was the name of one of our episodes.
That's why I started laughing, because it certainly was. I remember that one. Well, the name. I don't remember the episode.
I don't know why it's called Dog Loaf.
I do. I can tell you why. The reason is because, actually, no, I can't. I don't either. I drew, I remember I think it was because the term came up, and I think I sketched a dog in a meatloaf pan.
Oh, I think you're right.
And then Tate told me it was a terrible drawing or something.
Yeah, it spun into a whole different thing.
Yeah. But anyway, I think that was because meatloaf or dog loaf was said, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It became I think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was, that's how it was horrible.
Yeah, that's a refreshing way to come home for sure.
It still smelled like even Jeannie walked in, she's like, what is that? I'm like, you have no idea what I walked home. You don't even want to know what happened when I walked in the house.
Yeah.
And it's not like you can, obviously I can't be angry at the dog.
No, right. Because, we've all had foul shits. Let's be honest here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? And I put her outside while I'm cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
But it's,
Now, did you give her a good squeezing before you brought her in?
Well, I kind of felt bad.
Yeah.
Because as I'm in here mopping and cleaning and I have my fancy Bluetooth headphones in. Thanks, Daft Pod.
Right, which I just got mine in today.
They're sexy.
So,
but they're pretty good at canceling outside noise.
Mm-hmm.
Like the kind of noise of rain pouring on the side of the house that I didn't hear.
Oh, jeez.
So I go outside to I want to grab the tray that was done hosing it off so I could dry it off a little bit, and it's just pouring rain. And the dog's out there all huddled. Oh, geez, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My bad. That's what you get for shitting everywhere.
Right. That's awful.
Oh, it's terrible.
Oh, yeah. It's so great, it's, like you said, animals can't help that stuff, but it's so horrible. And it never seems to be on days when you can crack the windows and air the place out. It's always got to be on a day like today, where it's pouring and you have to keep things closed pretty much.
I popped out the old Scentsy scent, wax smelly shit that we have and put a fresh one in, because we put a fresh one in it, it's amplified scent.
Right, sure.
I'm just trying anything.
Right.
If I had the Wolf's number, I would have called him for cleanup.
He probably would have said no.
You're probably right.
Be like, fuck you, I'm not going. He no more gets to the door and he's like, nope, and walks away. Whew.
Yeah, it was something, right?
Yeah. That's a good time right there.
Yeah, so I got that going for me too.
Sure. Yeah. Welcome to Pedo. Yeah.
Also, it's been a week, Brian.
Yeah.
Earlier in the week, my wife's car that we haven't had that long, it is a new used car.
Yeah.
Check engine light comes on. It's misfiring and shit.
Mm.
I'm like, that's no bueno.
Right.
So take it to AutoZone. They explain what it is. Spark plug, needs a tune-up basically.
Yeah.
So I put some spark plugs in it. I'm looking at the little ignition coil thing it's a whole different thing than what I was expecting, because, it's a newer car. It looks like it's crazy.
Okay, right.
But I got everything working. And then a few days later, it's acting up again. And I told Jeannie, I'm like, there's a part in here that was super corroded. I sanded it down to clean it up. We need to replace it.
Yeah.
It's that. I knew that's exactly what it was.
Right.
So we don't want to drive it. So I call my mom. I'm like, hey, can I borrow a car? Because I knew they were leaving town because we need to get our car fixed. And she's like, oh, what's the problem? Blah, blah, blah. She's like, did you call the dealership? Because it might be under warranty. I could have just not dealt with any of this.
Son of a bitch.
Because I realize what it is I'm just not used to the finer things in life. Because before, if something broke on the car,
You had to fix it.
I had to fix it.
Sure. Yeah.
So that was just old habits.
Right. You and the old YouTube mechanic. Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Right.
I've learned a lot from YouTube and
yeah.
hands-on experience.
Right. And you've learned how to fix cars too.
That too.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
That is, I said red tube.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
hands-on, if you will.
exactly.
Right. Wait.
But yeah, I called the dealership and I gave them all the information. They're like, "Oh yeah, you guys are covered." I mean, it's 50,000 miles or like 3 years. There's no way we've driven 50,000 miles.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. I mean, that'd be crazy if you had.
It's bumper to bumper. I didn't have to do anything.
Geez. Well, at least you know now, I guess. But
I mean, I ordered the new part off of Amazon. I have to send it back tomorrow because I don't fucking need it.
yeah, right.
It's just like, God, and I told my mom, and I was honestly, Jeannie's like, do you want to call and make an appointment? And I'm like, my thought is, why? It's cheaper for me to fix it, not thinking we might have a warranty.
Right. Yeah.
And my mom, that's, oh God, it's like, I feel like a real asshole.
Right.
But yeah, I'm just, it's just how it is. You get used to just doing shit yourself all the time.
Well, yeah, like you said, it's not like you constantly have cars under warranty, so it's it makes sense that your first reaction would be, well, I got to take care of this, and
yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it's
do it.
Always been before.
Right.
What a goddamn nightmare.
Yeah, well, like I said, I guess at least you know it going forward if something happens.
Oh, yeah, now I know.
Mhm.
Bumper for 50,000 miles.
Right. Knowing's half the battle, I've heard.
Knowing is goddamn right. It's half the battle.
Mm-hmm. Picture his G.I. Joe sound drop there, but
I really we don't need that
Nah,
one.
not
How many
really.
sound drops do we need?
all of them is the correct
okay.
answer. No?
Maybe.
All right.
Spotify's got a bunch of them. We played those
They
last
do.
week.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. I was
the road. Sorry.
toying with Spotify actually the other night because I hadn't listened to any musics in a while, and I haven't been able to access my iTunes stuff because it's on the corrupted hard drive, or not corrupted, but it's on the computer. They can't get to the file or whatever, and
Right.
so I was looking on Spotify, and I was like, what do I want to listen to, and I was gonna listen to the Discover thing, but I haven't listened to music in so long that I was like, I'm just gonna listen to whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, I have a punk station already on here, so I pulled that up and just was listening to that. And I was like, afterward, I was like, man, I gotta make sure that I do this more. Like, I realized that it's weird how when I don't listen to music, like, I really want to listen to music,
Right.
And I miss listening to it as much as I used to. It's like, I need to start doing this more. There's, no reason really to not do this because it's something I enjoy. Well, it's like, why am I purposely taking something I enjoy out of my life?
I agree. We were talking before we started recording about this.
Yeah.
That, granted, I am probably not as far behind on podcasts as you.
Oh, I'm sure you're not.
'Cause I just started listening to like the Monday morning podcast today that came out this week. So I'm starting to catch up.
I might have listened to that. But like on
Yeah,
that one, I might be ahead of you. But other than that, I'm probably behind.
Well, because I listen to all mine chronologically. As they drop, that's the
Yeah.
order I listen to them.
Right. See, if I did that, I'd still be listening to podcasts from a couple years ago, probably.
Gotcha.
No, it's only because there's a couple podcasts where I keep downloading all the episodes because they're ones I really want to listen to. And it's just, I need to just start powering through them. And what happens a lot of times for me is like, on Tuesday or whatever, I'll update my Downcast and there'll be like 15 or something that come through because Monday is, a day, a lot of shows.
Day.
Yeah. And, so I'll look for all the shows like Hidden Brain and Radio Lab and stuff that are anywhere from half an hour to 45 minutes, maybe an hour. And I try to power through all the short podcasts first.
Right.
And what ends up happening is by the time I get through all of them, and I listen to one or two that are like 2 hours long, I'm basically almost to the end of the week, and then it starts again. So some of these shows keep getting pushed, and then eventually I'm like, I just have to purge,
So far behind.
Yeah, and if I don't
Yeah.
purge, I feel that pressure of, like I'm never gonna catch up, and so I just get rid of episodes, and it's not what I want to do. It's just what I have to do to stay sane.
Yeah, that's fair.
If it makes any sense. Yeah.
No, it makes perfect sense.
It also doesn't help that I keep adding new podcasts.
Yeah, I've been doing the same damn thing too.
I'll listen to one because someone will be like, "Oh, this is on this," and and I check out an episode. Go, wow, I really like that. And next thing you know, whew, yeah.
But yeah. So I'm with you there. I'm getting in the habit of listening to music in the morning and tweeting about it.
Of course, right.
And yeah,
Well, it's funny too. I was looking last night because I told I've told a few people like the way I've been kind of really digging into like behavioral stuff, podcasts about behavioral science and whatnot.
Right.
So the other night I was looking for like free classes and stuff for that kind of thing, and one of the things I was on was like, if you haven't checked out iTunes U, you should go check out iTunes U. And I was like, oh, because it's an app. Like, and I think you can get it without that. I think you can get it through just like iTunes Store or whatever, or the, App Store. I mean, not the iTunes Store. Maybe through the iTunes Store too. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, there's an app that's been on my phone forever, and it's called iTunes U.
Yeah, I'm familiar, but not with what it does.
Well, so I pull up last night, and I just happened to look like behavioral sciences or whatever, and there's like a whole thing of coursework with lectures, like videos and audio, and then there's a downloadable file that's like a midterm exam, and then you can download the key to the exam to check your work. And it looks like it's totally free. Now, I'm not going to get, college credits or anything like that for it. But what I was thinking I might do is, as someone who's not highly motivated, I can kind of go through it a little on my time and see if I can kind of handle the stuff. And if I do okay with that, then maybe down the road I'll look into maybe I will go to school for it or something.
What's funny, Brian? Is God damn, I keep hitting my mic. My fucking not as big as your head.
Hey, wait a minute.
Is I have been talking a lot lately about to my lovely wife about going back to school myself.
Yeah.
Because I don't have this on my phone. Why is that? For nutrition, because that's kind of something I've been obsessed with the past couple years now.
Sure.
And it's changed my life a lot, and it's like, why wouldn't I want to do that to other, help other people? Plus, I can't exactly, do what I'm doing now for the rest of my life, nor do I want to.
Plus, you're still looking for some way you can, work at a gym so you can wear a leotard all the time.
I could do that anyway.
I guess that's true. You could.
Exactly. Well, not even like, I don't want to be making smoothies and shit for people.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, you mean be a legit nutritionalist or
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I
there may be stuff on there for that too.
Well, I just downloaded it because I'm like I apparently deleted it because I just had to download it from the cloud.
I can see deleting it because I almost did at one point and I don't know why I didn't. And then last night, like I said, I was talking with Henno and I was like, I've read that the iTunes U thing has whatever, and so I started looking, and it looks like sometimes like some of the courses are like as they're being released, you can subscribe so that much like podcasts, here's the new classwork or whatever,
Right.
And like I said, it's not for any sort of credit or whatever, but it's something that I kind of find myself being interested in, and I can kind of maybe use that and see just how interested I truly am. Because you know how it is. Sometimes you seem interested in something, but then when you get into it and you're really doing the work, you're like, I'm not this interested in this.
Yeah, exactly.
And this way I won't have to put out thousands of dollars to find out,
This is also true.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know you've been reading books and stuff about,
Yeah, so that's, I've kind
of like diving into it a little bit more, I guess.
So that's kind of what I was thinking, because it's, even if it doesn't really turn into anything, it'd still be something I'm kind of interested in doing. And
can't
really
know.
hurt. Yeah. I mean, aside from the money, it can't hurt. Going to school for it with money would be one thing, but.
Well, even if you, I mean, imagine if there's sort of credits for whatever, but even if you just counsel people online.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the whole pay it forward kind of situation, make the earth better or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
I can just start yelling at people all the time, tell them what to do.
That too.
Use what was that on that The Rock did? Was it that Nicorette or whatever it was called?
Oh, yeah. Nick Control,
Nick
right?
Control, yeah, that's what it was, yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, right up my alley.
Yeah, just stomp the shit out of
Yeah.
someone when they're feeling down
I'll just be a life coach
with stompings.
with stompings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes that's what you need in life, you know.
Sometimes exactly the motivation you need comes at the end of an ass kick.
That's right. Sometimes you need a pat on the back. Sometimes you need a foot in the ass. It's
Yeah, for sure.
It's the truth. Sometimes both. Like, attaboy, boot.
As you're laying at the bottom of the stairs,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
crumbled.
I can't help that your balance gave when I kicked you at the top of the stairs.
Well, this is true.
It's not
I
my
mean,
fault. Go to the gym and get some stability. I mean, and go see Tony at the smoothie bar.
Use this balance ball, you douche.
Whoopsie, looks like someone fell down.
Oh, jeez.
My leg's broken.
Wow. There is all kinds of stuff on here. This is
Yeah.
actually pretty nifty.
I can see 3 feet parts of my femur. Nah, you're fine.
Yeah, it's all right.
Mhm.
By my looks, you're low on calcium.
Nice, Tony swooping in with the expertise there. Like, I'm gonna mix you up something for that. You just pour milk into a blender.
Yeah. Blend, it's all nice and frothy.
Right. Maybe a little ice, or whatever. I don't know.
I drink it, ridiculed him.
Like, I don't think you could handle picking up this glass. Like, your arm may break.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, this thing's been around for a long time. In the event someone didn't know about it, I just kind of throw it out there so people can check it out. Because, a lot of it is their lectures and stuff you would download just like your, audiobook or a podcast. So,
So I need more content to devour.
I know that's kind of what I was getting at
Yeah.
with this. Is it's like I'm already impossibly behind on podcasts. I don't listen to music as much as I'd like to, but I'm like, you know what I'm gonna do?
Yeah. That's been my part of my thing too, with the
Yeah.
whole school thing. I'm like, where the fuck am I going to come with the time? But it's like, you almost have to make the time
Yeah,
for
you do.
it.
Yep.
It's
really simple, Tony. No more sleep.
Well, that's been my game this week, because
See?
since I can't seem to sleep past 4 a.m.
Your body's already preparing you for it.
Apparently.
Yeah. See?
You know how much it blows, asshole?
I'm gonna
I'm
go with a lot.
I'm awake. What time is it? 4 o'clock again. Fuck you. But I got to do it all quiet so the dog doesn't wake up.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to, but
Well, that's
you
true.
just then have to take the dog out.
I mean, if I had any sort of gumption, I would just get up.
Yeah.
But instead, I refuse, and I'm like, fuck you, and I try to fall asleep, and then it never ends up
Right.
happening.
So you just end up getting up and doing your jazzercise anyway. So,
Well, here's what happens.
having your milk smoothie.
Is instead of just getting
That's
up,
funny
I'm like,
for multiple reasons. I don't know.
Yes.
Okay.
if I were to just get up
Yeah.
and like take the dog for a walk and maybe like exercise in the morning instead of after work like I usually do.
Just walk the dog down to the gas station, get a nice breakfast sandwich. Yeah.
Exactly. One of these all-in-one roller dog egg combo
Ooh,
things.
Yeah, that's the way to do it right
that
there.
sounds like real good eating. No, instead I lay in bed until Jeannie's alarm started going off.
Yeah.
And I toss and turn the whole time, attempting to fall asleep. And then I'm so exhausted, I just can't get out of bed and I end up running late all week. That's basically been my
Sure.
MO
That-
this whole week.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Sucks.
Yeah. It seems like that would not be. Yeah, that's no bueno.
I just need to just roll out of bed when I wake up and just deal with it.
Yeah, sure. I mean, just take a little nap on your drive to work.
Tempting.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm plowing through like a line of school buses.
Right. Well, that's why you had the Jeep.
yeah, well, yeah, perfect.
Right over everything.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
says all terrain, right?
It is a Jeep thing.
All terrain, children, buses,
Yeah.
whatever gets in the
Nuns.
way. Yeah. Deer. Yeah. Whatever it
Boy,
is.
you don't know how good this thing handles until it goes over the top of a baby carriage.
Oh, jeez. Well, I mean, it's not that Tony's done that, of course.
No, of course not. It was empty, the carriage.
Sure.
Sure.
Mhm.
Sure it was.
Yeah, you just do that to freak people out. Have someone push an empty baby carriage and just hop the curb, run it over with your Jeep,
Plow it.
and just immediately, right back onto the road and keep going.
For sure.
Meanwhile, someone's crying on the ground. Not for a baby, they're just crying because you crushed their expensive carriage.
It was a nice carriage.
Yeah.
It's one of those Eddie Bauer ones.
Right. It's like, this thing was like $500.
Jesus. I severely overpaid for this status symbol that I put my offspring in.
I'm crying for my wallet. Oh, man. Good shit.
Yeah,
Not really good
my
shit.
stroller is the Versace edition. I never understand that.
I don't either. Yeah.
Like, do you really need a high-end... I get it if it's functional.
Yeah.
But if you're just paying for the example is the Eddie Bauer edition of strollers and
And a
all
car.
that horse.
Do you remember that?
Cars
Was it Ford? I think it was had like the Eddie Bauer Explorer, and I was like,
Yeah.
really?
I think that was the one where the tires would blow and it'd flip over and burst into flames.
Well, that'll happen. It was an Exploder after all.
It was an Exploder. Yeah, I just never understood that horse shit.
Yeah. I don't either. I'm with you on that. It just seems like of all the things you'd want to spend your money on, like, I mean, obviously you want one that's your kid's gonna, it's not gonna fall apart while you're pushing it or something to where, you accidentally just, tip it into the street or something. But,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, going stupid high end on it just doesn't make any sense to me either.
No, not at all.
Mm-hmm. Like, this is the, limited edition, Nike Jumpman baby carriage.
Yeah, all the kids want this one.
Yeah.
Like they're 6 months old. They don't know what they're talking
Right.
about.
Like Jumpman, who wants that whack thing? It's like, I got the LeBron James one.
Like, no. I got the Yeezy edition.
Right.
This is season 2 even.
That's right. Of course. Because what
Yeah.
are you going to be, a savage pushing season 1? Come on.
Right?
Terrible.
I don't know. I just never. I mean, we did if we didn't get them at a, baby shower or whatever, secondhand store because the shit's basically good as new.
Yeah.
Because
Sure.
once the kid outgrows it, what are you doing with it?
Pushing your dog in.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I've seen that too, to be honest.
or a delicious loaf of bread or your alcohol.
Oh, nice growler holder.
Now that's the way to do it is to start pushing your carriage to the liquor store and do it all the time. So people are just giving you the worst
Like,
looks.
oh my God.
I implore everyone who doesn't have children, especially, to buy a baby stroller.
You get a handle of vodka and put a onesie on it.
Yes. Like something like, Mommy's Angel or something to
Yep.
that effect, or yeah.
You gingerly snap it in. You're feeding mommy tonight.
Yeah.
Instead of the other way around.
Yep. Oh. Who's my favorite little guy? You are. Yes, you are.
Oh, you're so adorable. Baby pop off.
Yep. Right into the stroller.
Oh my.
Sure. I mean, it makes sense. I've seen people put seatbelts on booze bottles in the car because
I've done that.
Yeah, me
Travel
too.
with a growler, I snapped that bitch in.
I've seen people do. I think you and I did that one of the first times that we got growlers. I think you belted both of our growlers in so that they
Yeah,
wouldn't.
I don't want that shit rolling around all
Yeah,
crazy like.
Hell no. So
Oh, full of its delicious cargo.
right. Now, what happens if it? You don't want it to leak.
No,
like,
please. Unless
then-
it's into my face.
right. I was gonna say if it leaks on the carpet, then we got to suck beer out of the carpet. That's
right.
embarrassing.
That is embarrassing.
Who wants to do that? We're not Barney from The Simpsons,
Although, I've got the drain holes in the Jeep. Can we convince someone to do drain hole shots? Lay under
Oh.
Jeep, I'll pour it through the floor.
Ooh, that's a party game right there.
Oh boy.
Eesh. That's a truth or dare situation waiting to happen. That's what that is.
All right.
Yeah, truth or dare. Dare. Yeah. Excellent.
All right. Floor drain shots.
Let's go.
Huh?
Yep. What? Some terrible booze too. Like, I don't know.
Oh God.
You're like fireball shots from the floor mat.
Fireball might be too high end for a
True.
floor drain shot.
That's true. All right, fine. Kirkland cinnamon whiskey. Is that better?
That's better.
Okay.
It's got to be it has to be fire in the name though.
Oh, okay.
Like
Well-
be like Kirkland Backdraft? No. Kirkland Bic Lighter Blaze?
Delicious.
I don't know. I got
That's, yeah, probably not. We should move on.
Probably.
I don't think we're going anywhere with this.
No, not at all.
Fair enough.
Pretty sure I saw a guy drying his dick in a hand dryer.
That's a segue right there.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, twice today.
Please tell me it was one of the Dyson ones at least.
No.
No.
Just a standard, like, silver.
That's probably smart.
Unhappy droid
If you
hand dryer.
stuck your dick in one of those Dyson ones, you'd probably lose your dick. It would probably get just ripped right off.
It'd be totally worth his,
I've almost lost an arm from the power of those things.
the power of the Dyson.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I actually have two observations of this restroom.
Okay.
Because I was in it twice today, because that's what I do on my job, is I go to a lot of the same places, unfortunately.
Meaning restrooms.
yeah, actually.
Tony has
They're-
just awful issues all day with.
They're both on the same bathroom on a campus of University of Toledo.
Yeah.
The first time I walk in, it was the exact same feeling I had walking into my home after work.
Right.
Like I just got punched in the face of a turd.
Yeah.
Not good.
Okay.
And so I'm trying to get my piss thing on, and there's two stall doors closed. One stall door is just jamming John Fogerty.
So there's hardcore masturbation going on in that one.
There's something going on.
Yeah.
Because it's nothing but a little CCR playing.
That's weird, but all right.
Right?
Mm.
And then the other stall is
that's my pooping music.
it must be. Enough it gets it flowing like CCR, man. Hey, man.
Hey, man. Yeah.
Hey, man. But the other stall, I'm assuming either A, there's a guy in there doing deadlifts, or B, he should mix in a little fiber.
Or both.
Because the grunting and straining was disturbing.
That's no good for you. That's terrible for you.
Yeah, it was horrible for me, too, because I had experienced the noises.
Yeah. Oof.
So I had that to deal with. The second time, I walked in and, God damn it, I'm still fucking bleeding. What do I have, anemia? Jesus Christ.
You might. Don't worry about it.
But, I do my piss thing, and all I hear is the hand dryer come around the corner, because it's like a wall that separates the sinks from the bathrooms, you know? And there's just a guy standing in front of the dryer, and I avoided eye contact, because his pants were undone. His belt was, everything was open.
Right. Now, I do have to point out that when you say you avoided contact, but then give us a description of his groin,
Well,
it doesn't make you sound better.
This is true. But I saw his, the one half of his pants within the belt and like the button and shit all askew.
Right.
And I was just like, oh, God, what's this asshole up to?
Maybe, probably not, but maybe. He's probably just drying his dick off. But, there's a chance, I guess, maybe when he went to wash his hands, have you ever had that, like, where water just soaks the front of you sometimes? Like, some of those things come on and the water splashes. It looks like you pissed yourself.
This is true.
So maybe he was trying to dry, or maybe he didn't make it in time or something.
I didn't consider that. My consideration was maybe he was in there dropping a deuce and he just had to tuck his shirt in still.
That could be, too.
But, I mean, like myself.
You'd think you'd do that in the stall, though.
I take care of all that business in the stall.
Well, it's easier because your pants are down, so to tuck your shirt in, you just pull your pants up over the shirt and then...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe you're right. Maybe he had a little backsplash action.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, I guess, it's happened to me before, but I guess I just have no shame.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Well, you walk out presenting, so, look
gentlemen.
what I did. Disarm everyone that way.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
I don't know, it was weird.
Yeah.
A lot of odd things happen in public bathrooms, unfortunately.
I feel like you should write a book / blog about that, but, it's pretty weird.
That is true.
That you have these experiences. Although I bet truck drivers in general have.
Oh, I'm sure they have way worse
weird
than
stories. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. I know from, the different places we used to travel and stopping at various like rest stops or, restaurants that were truck stops too. That you hear and see some weird shit going on.
Oh yeah.
For sure. You know, like even like I said before, you know, when last time I went to Florida, the one truck stop we went into, I went into the bathroom, and there were two guys in the stalls and just carrying a conversation on while they're just destroying the bathroom.
That's,
you know,
I've had that experience too,
So
but they
weird.
weren't talking to each other.
Oh,
The
okay.
guy was talking on the phone.
Oh, I've heard that too.
and
yeah.
he was just dominating it at the time.
I just can't picture, like, if I'm on the phone with somebody and I start hearing what I think are bathroom noises, I'm gonna hang the phone up.
Well,
Our
here's what got
conversation's
me.
over at that point.
With the last one I heard when this, you know, the guy was clearly on the phone with somebody,
Mhm.
and I'm with you. If I hear noises, I'm like, "What the fuck you doing?"
Yeah. Because I've had that in the past where I've talking to somebody and they're like, "Oh, I took you into the bathroom," and I'm like, "Call me when you're done." Like,
Yeah,
really, put the phone down for a minute.
the dude flushed the toilet and was still on the phone.
Nice, classy.
That's what I was just like, really?
Well, do you
'Cause
remember we went to Oliver House the one time and there was a guy like talking like flirty to a girl on the bathroom, like when I went in there, or you know, he was on the phone with her and then he flushed, and I was like, that's a weird fetish.
That is a weird fact.
Because she's like, "Oh, you get me so hot. Flush that toilet, baby. Give me a courtesy flush."
Oh, I love the scrubbing bubbles.
Yeah. She's like, "I wish I was there so I could give you a Blumpkin."
Oh God,
Like,
what a filthy animal!
right? Yeah. People are weird like that. I don't know. It's
Yeah, that makes me really hate people.
You
know?
It's like, dude, seriously, just look at your phone, like, you know, or play CCR like that one guy, you know?
Yeah, that's just
'Cause,
so weird.
You know, like maybe he's just trying to, you know, like VF talked about on the new Graphic Novice, you know, just get some privacy sounds, you know?
Masking noises.
Yeah, sure. Even though generally, you know, it's like a fan in a bathroom, you know, it's like a lot of people turn it on because they don't want people to hear them. But it's like, but when you turn it on, everyone goes, "Oh, they're shitting."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's awful things happening in there.
Yeah. The worst are the bathrooms. Like, you ever go to those public bathrooms and there's, you know, a lot of public bathrooms used to have music playing in them
Yeah.
and stuff. And you go into one where it's absolutely quiet and you know you're going to wreck this place.
Yeah, this is true.
You're like, "Oh, geez, this is going to be terrible." Because, of course, it'll be empty when you walk in. But the minute you like start to drop trow and like 40 people come in, you know, you're like, "Ah, Jesus." Like, can't they put some egg crate things on the inside of this? Or, you know.
Yeah, pumping some white noise,
Yeah.
anything.
Like, give me some noise canceling, you know, devices here. Yeah, it's
Like, all right, where's my CCR?
that's exactly it.
Ooh, we'll stop the rain.
uh,
Pretty sure that was the song.
like, this is the weirdest remix I've ever heard. Man. Anyway, whew, that that was a hell of a segue that got us here, Tony.
Ah, yeah, you know.
So I think I saw a guy trying his dick in a truck.
I just report the news as I see it.
Yeah, that's fair. I understand.
So I got one more thing for my
Ooh.
week.
All right.
It's really bugged the shit out of me, and I need your opinion on
I
it.
don't know if you can top that last one.
I know, that didn't bug me. That was just kind of threw me off. This bugs me.
Okay.
So, you know, and I'm going a little local just so you know to reference. So
Okay.
sorry, listening audience.
Mhm.
You know on Alexis Road, that club that's kind of over by where Butter used to live, or maybe
Yeah.
still lives?
Yeah.
And it's changed its name
Oh, yeah.
an umpteen time. It used to be like Ray's Cowboy Bar, and then it was like, you know, the Rape Shack, and then it was, you know,
I don't remember.
beers and shots or whatever.
I don't remember it being called the Rape Shack. That
Yeah,
must-
well, that's what all the patrons probably
yeah,
called
that's
it.
probably true. All right. The
Well, I
Sports
passed
Zone.
it today.
Yeah.
You know what its current name is?
No.
Hashtag drinks.
Please
It's
tell
the
me.
hash-
Please
it's the
tell me
new-
it's drinks with a Z.
It knows drinks
Ah.
finesse, although it would not surprise me if it was.
I'm so
hashtag
disappointed.
Drinks.
Yeah. Wow.
It really
That's-
bothered me for some reason, and I don't know if it's because I mean I don't mind a hashtag in a social media thing,
Mhm.
but like when my daughter's like hashtag rotting foot,
Yeah.
you know, and she, you know, that's just the age she's at. She hashtags thing. Maybe, and she also calls me bro, which I want to throw over the
Well,
window.
I mean, that's
but-
fair. Yeah.
But I don't know why. It really bothered me that it's hashtag drinks.
Do you know what bugs me about it is, aside from just being a stupid name, is even for social media purposes, it's a terrible name because hashtag drinks, if people were to like search for the place via that whatever on Twitter, Facebook, whatever,
Not even think of that.
they're not even going to get just that place. They're going to get everybody.
Yeah, white girl wasted people tweeting stuff.
Yep. It's just a terrible
That
name.
part didn't even occur to me.
But also, in fairness, it'll probably be closed in like 2 months anyways because they've been selling to underage people or something.
Because once again, Ray's Rake Shack, Rake.
That's even more terrifying.
It's a yard implement store, Ray's Rake Shack. All he carries is rakes.
Just rakes everywhere.
Like, hey, you got a shovel? Rakes.
Read the sign, asshole. Does it look like we have shovels here?
We have rakes. You can use this short, tined metal one. It's pretty sturdy.
Yeah. And
dig a hole with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You smack them across the face. Do you have shovels here? Just slap. Just throw them out afterwards. You just have a bouncer in Ray's Rake Shack. Just be weird.
That would be weird. He throws them in the side yard when it's just nothing but rakes that you can step on and get smacked in the face with. Oh,
jeez. It'll be like the scene in The Simpsons where Sideshow Bob does that. Where he just... Yep.
Yeah, perfect.
Man, that's ridiculous.
Right?
Yeah. Right. Man. So, did you catch what's going on in the UFC with Jose Aldo?
I saw something briefly across my phone that he was asking to be released because they won't give him McGregor.
Yeah, because he thought that basically that should be the next deal with McGregor. Or McGregor's next fight should be against him essentially, and it's not. McGregor's fighting what's the guy's name? Alvarez or something like that.
Right.
I think Aldo's got kind of a bitch here. Like I think he's got a good point. I mean, it's been how many months now since they fought? The guys are both at the point they could fight again. Why wouldn't you do that rematch instead? It's almost like UFC. And McGregor that was what, a 4-second fight or 13 seconds, whatever the hell it was. It was, wham bam and over. So It's not like they're afraid McGregor's going to get crushed by Aldo, I don't think, but it's like, why wouldn't you just do that fight? It's weird.
I don't understand it either.
Yeah. And I could see where Aldo would feel disrespected by it because it's like, oh, you're not important enough. We're just going to do these other things, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It feels like he kind of deserves a rematch because, I always kind of feel like a champion deserves a rematch,
So if he gets released and he goes to Bellator, does he dominate? Because Bellator's kind of like the minors.
Yeah, but he dominated UFC until McGregor came through him, for the most part. The funny thing is, if they release him, it's going to be there's going to be some sort of an agreement, like a non-compete, at least for a while. To where basically, like, it wouldn't shock me. You know how, like, in the NFL or something, if a player retires, the team technically still retains their rights through the contract. Like, if they have 3 more years, the team would retain those rights. So if the guy goes, just kidding, then he's still a member of that team, and then they have to make decisions. It wouldn't surprise me.
It would be kind of shitty, though, because it's like he makes his nut fighting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like if you can't fight and they won't let you fight.
Yeah. I think I've seen WWE do stuff like this where someone wants to be released and they basically, the way they broker the release is you can't fight for another company for, usually with them, I think it's like 30 or 90 days, which whatever, that's no big deal. So, cause okay, I'll put off a fight for another month or two, whatever, Same with WWE. It's like, I'll take a month and get healthy,
Right.
So I don't know. I'm very curious to see how this goes forward, though, because UFC is not going to want to let him go because he's a draw.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Even if it's not against McGregor, if you tell me Jose Aldo's the main event, I'm interested in the fight, because he's a hell of a fighter. So I don't know. This is a really interesting one because I haven't seen anyone do this before. And, like you said, Bellator is still, it's kind of looked at as the almost the B or minor league. It's the talent level. I mean, Chael Sonnen just signed on, but he's, pretty well past his prime. Like,
they get It's kind of like WCW
It
in
was.
the old days.
Yep, before they really took over, that's what it reminds you of, is just signing guys who are past their peak.
Although, from what I understand,
Still
the
draw.
fighters, though, with the exception of obviously the top tier UFC guys, but the fighters can make more money in Bellator just because of the sponsorships that they're not allowed to have in UFC anymore.
That's what I was listening to. Jim Ross, good old JR from yeah. He was talking with a guy about GSP, because
Right.
GSP, there's rumors that he wants to come back. And the guy mentioned that one of the things they'll have to do, though, is they'll have to take into account that GSP has an endorsement deal with, I can't remember who it is, like a clothing company or whatever, like Under Armour or something like that. Well, he's not, clearly can't.
Reebok.
Yeah, he can't wear that. And as a result, he's going to lose money. So UFC is going to have to, in their workings with him, they're going to have to sweeten the pot to make up for that loss of money.
Makes sense.
And I was like, huh. I was like, and but like this guy was talking, he's like, I don't know why UFC wouldn't basically give him whatever he wants to come back.
Well, yeah, because if they go, UFC 207 or whatever,
GSP's back.
GSP's back.
I'm in.
Okay.
Like right there. Let's go.
Geez. Probably top 5 highest, grossing pay-per-view.
Probably, because he's such a huge name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another one I was kind of curious of. But yeah, that's all I got for the UFC stuff. I figured you saw the stuff with Aldo or heard about it, but it's a really interesting thing to me, because you don't hear this very much. You don't see guys requesting their release in UFC very often.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Boy, I'll tell you what, Bellator is probably sitting there going, "Oh please, oh please, oh please,"
Oh, I'm sure.
Because if there's any chance,
where else is he gonna go?
Yeah, if there's any chance they could sign him, they would be all over it. It's kind of like Brock Lesnar when his contract's up with WWE in 2 years. He's still young enough; he could, especially as a heavyweight, those guys fight, longer in their careers.
Right.
Because it's not about speed as much, and
Well, last thing to go is power,
Exactly, and that's what they need. You can stick around and just be a power guy, So, when that comes, his WWE contract's up, if he wants to go fight in the MMA, it's like Bellator will probably be trying to make the biggest deal they can ever make to draw him, because even at that, 41 or 43, I think he'll be, he's a huge draw,
Right.
I don't like the guy, but he's a huge draw. I can't disrespect that. I mean, you put his name on a card, it sells, So, all right. Let's see. I was like, wow, is that all of what I have? Nope. All right. So I sent you a video. Metallica released the second song off of their upcoming new album.
Right.
I think this week is when it was released.
Is it Moth to the Flame or something like that?
Yeah. And I told you I wanted to talk about it a little bit on here. So you listened to it. What did you think of it?
I don't know. I'm having a hard time with the new Metallica for some reason.
I think it was a much better song than
I
the first
did
song.
like it better than the whatever the other one is even called.
Some self-destruct, yeah.
Yeah, I did
Hardwired
like
to
it better,
self-destruct.
but it's just not the same.
Like, here's the thing. Like, I thought it was a decent song. Like, overall, right. It felt more like, it didn't feel derivative. Like I mentioned on the last song, how there was a few parts where I was like, wow, that really sounds like a part from one of their other songs. I didn't really think this song had much of that. It felt more original and whatnot. But here's my deal. And I was telling Heno this last night, and Heno actually sent me a great video that will, for anyone listening, I can actually give you an example of how something sounds to me. While I was listening, there's one part where they kind of, like, they're just kind of thrashing about, and then you hear Lars playing drums, and it sounds like it's totally done over the top of all the rest of the music. It doesn't blend. It doesn't feel like it's really part of the song. It almost feels like if somebody were listening to the song and they just started playing drums also.
Right.
And what I'm realizing is I had the same problem on the last song And I've had this and a few other things. And I told Heno, I was like, what it is I'm finally coming around to where people have been ragging on Lars for being a shitty drummer for years. I think I'm finally coming around to it. Because
really?
I think this song actually points out how good the rest of the guys are and how good he's not. Because the drum just doesn't line up with the song to me. It hits my ear weird. And this video that Heno found on YouTube's or whatever it is, it's this guy he's doing Lars drumming style with other songs that are not Metallica songs. And the one everyone should listen to is Eye of the Tiger. Because once he starts really getting into the drums, it does not fit the song at all, right?
Right.
You listen to it. Do you catch how awkward that, like, it hits your ear really weird? It doesn't fit the song. That's what I'm starting to hear when I listen to Lars now. And the new stuff.
Now, is this current Lars? Or
yes.
you go back?
Old stuff, it doesn't bug me so much. Like, if you go way, way back. But on the
Right.
newer, probably, 3 albums-ish, maybe longer, maybe 4. Like, probably after the Black Album forward. I'm noticing it more and more.
Now, I wonder if that's just because they just don't get along like they used to.
Yeah, it could be.
At least that's what it seems like.
Yeah, because, like, the parts where, they're just kind of, like I said, just kind of thrashing around, I was like, yeah, all right, they're doing the thing. It's, they're Metallica doing what they do, and sounds fine. And then you hear Lars with those over-the-top drums, and you're just like, it just takes me right out of the song. And it's making it hard for me to listen to. Like, other than that, I like the song. Like, I told Heno, I wish I could remove him, put a different drummer in there, and just hear a difference, and see if then I like the song. Or if it's him that ruins the song for me. I can't tell. So.
I'll have to go listen to a song again, because
Yeah, well, again, listen to that. Or like I said, listen to the Eye of the Tiger thing, then listen to the song and listen for that kind of feel from the drums. You'll pick it up almost immediately. Now, I will say this for anyone who's going to listen, and Heno warned me of this, and he's totally right. Once you hear it, you almost can't unhear it going forward.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Once the thought process is in your head, it's hard to ignore. Once it's been
unlocked in your brain.
Yeah, so if you don't want anything ruined for you, maybe don't do this. But otherwise, like I said,
I kind of want to go through that article and watch these other videos of this guy drumming too.
I do too, because one of them is was it "Countdown to Extinction"? I think is one of the songs on there.
Symphony of Destruction.
Or that's why
Hungry Like a Wolf.
Yeah.
Lick It Up.
Dude, wait till you hear "Hungry Like a Wolf."
Lick It Up.
Oh my gosh. Heno played a few of them last night, and we were laughing like maniacs because the drums don't line up. Like, they just don't fit this, It's so weird. Yeah. Anyway, so there's that. It's funny because I listened to the Metallica song. The first time I listened to it, I was like, all right, this is way better than the first song. Then I listened to it again, and I was like, those drums, I can't get that out of my head. Like, and not in a good way. Like, it just irritated me. So, yeah, what are you going to do, right?
What are you going to do?
Also, watching that video and watching Lars make all those weird faces while he plays drum is weird.
That's the video, for some reason, just takes me out of it when I see them.
Yeah, it's really, it's a pretty minimal video. It's just them in a dark room with, like, light bulbs hanging down with moths all over the light bulbs. And
I kind of feel like I need to listen to it without the video.
That's okay.
Because I was focused on like the dumb faces and the mobs watching the self-destruct video. Like, why are they putting that in there? And it was all this weirdness.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either. Like, why they needed to put a TV in there with the hardwired to self-destruct video.
It was like, hey guys, we're gonna jam out with our new song, but first we're gonna watch the video of our old song.
Right.
And for some reason, there's a ton of mobs in here, guys.
Yeah.
So watch your jackets and stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah, over in the corner, the whole time they're playing, like, James is, down there, he's playing his guitar, and he just keeps giving side eye to his jean jacket over in the corner.
He's got a can of Raid taped to his thigh just in case.
Just in case. That's right. I'm surprised Lars didn't get like 40 of them in his mouth from, because he is certainly a mouth breather.
Oh my God, he's got that Eli Manning for sure going on.
Yeah. So it's so funny because I feel so bad just shitting on him, but here we are.
Peyton, I play the drums now, Peyton.
Oh my god, I want to see that. Those guys, they need to be in a heavy metal band.
Oh man, one Peyton goes like headbang, you just hear his head rolls off.
Oh yeah, there's that. Well, maybe we'll put him in a nice brace or something. It'd
Look
be
like,
weird though, having a giraffe as the front man. You know,
it's true. So it'd be kind of like when they chop off Alice Cooper's head.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Right, that'd be cool.
That'd be really weird to see Peyton Manning or Eli do that.
Yeah, it's true. It freaks out Eli every show.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Peyton's dead.
Like, it's not real, Eli. Just keep playing.
He's just crying. Ah, Peyton.
And of course, like I say, he stopped playing, or better yet, he's still playing. He's just slowed the pace down.
That was my brother. Why does he have to die every show?
Cooper's off to the side because, again, you know, he's not good enough to play. He's just off to the side, and
He's the manager. He's
yeah.
only clipboard.
yeah, him and their dad, you know, like, keep playing, Eli. And then it's like, you know, like there's a big part coming up, and then Eli immediately snaps into his like in the zone mode and just crushes it. You know.
Well, you know when he snaps into zone, is he looks out in the crowd, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he sees David Tyree out there selling popcorn. And he's like, oh, and he just crushes it. He gets inspired by the catch or whatever.
Right. He throws a drumstick out there. Tyree catches it on top of his helmet.
Yep. It's amazing.
Tear rolls down everyone's eye.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, St. Louis! And then, yeah, take off.
Then he catches, Peyton's head again. Oh, Peyton.
And meanwhile, Eli goes running off to the back. Peyton's back there with the towel around his neck, drinking a water, you know?
And just banging groupies.
Why is it... I don't want to do this again, Tony. We're not having Peyton banging groupies. Stop trying to give him all the groupies. Can you imagine what the groupies for them would be? Oh, be like a Farmers Only kind of, you know, nah, probably not. There's probably a lot of hot people on Farmers Only, but,
So, that's okay. Not Farmers Only, more like 4-H.
nice.
Right?
Nice. Little...
As in, ho, 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 ho.
Oh, man. Good point. All right, let's stop talking about the Mannings and how Peyton's just banging everyone.
Just throwing mad dick.
Oh, jeez. I'm going to break my touchdown record.
Exactly.
Whew.
Just hitting her doggy style, yelling Omaha.
Well, obviously. Licking his fingers.
Exactly. Changing the play up.
Sure.
By the play means next one rotates in.
Right. Oh, boy. Yeah, before he hits her, there's like a towel he flips. I think we've done this before.
That's the code word for the stage manager sending the next woman, Omaha! Omaha!
Oh, just... he just pulls out and he's like, all right, they just move her aside. Like, what? Oh, he shifted the line. I see.
Yeah. He's going back to the shotgun.
Right.
Oh, God. That's not what he's doing at all.
Weird that he put someone in motion. What is going on here?
Anyway, let's get away from it. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So I forgot to send a link for this, but I saw, I've noticed that most of my shut up and take my money things are Funko Pops now.
Right. Well, those are kind of your jam right now.
They are, yeah. They announced this week, or not they announced, but they showed pictures finally of the Animaniacs ones.
That's cool.
Yeah, so they're making Yakko, Wacko, Dot, and then Pinky and the Brain. So I was like, yeah, I kind of need all those, because...
Wait, they're not making the Good Feathers?
Ugh. Thank God, no.
No?
No.
I don't know
those other dumb characters. Yeah, that's why I said half of that show, from watching it again recently, I was like, oof.
They're not making that sassy cat?
Oh.
Whatever her name was?
Rita?
I don't even know.
No, Rita, or was it? I can't remember.
Hopefully it's rigor mortis.
Nah, I don't remember. It's not Rita, I don't think. Anyway, moving on. It's just, but,
yeah.
But yeah, they finally, unveiled pictures of them. So I was pretty excited about that. I shared it on Facebook, and Seemed like a lot of people were like, ooh, about those.
Well, Animaniacs was such a thing for our generation.
Yeah, it was. You're right.
It's definitely a
Shut up and take my money.
Nice.
kind of moment.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed there's no nurse, but no.
There should be a hello nurse.
Or Dr. What was his name? Dr. Scratch and Sniff or something like that?
I don't remember.
I think that's what they called him. That might not have been his name, but you know who I mean. The
I know exactly what you're talking about,
psychiatrist
yeah.
they were saying, or psychologist, whatever he was. Yeah. But that's all right. It would be great. I'd love to see a 2-pack of one of them with, like, you know, the hard eyes and, you know, the hello nurse 2-pack. Or 4-pack, whatever. Like the 3 of them, Dot's just standing there just rolling her eyes because, you know, Stilly boys.
That would be excellent.
Yeah. Excellent. No, that was last episode. We did Bill and Ted's. Never mind.
Yeah. Nope. We have 99 episodes to go before we do that again.
We're almost there. Almost there. It's right around the corner.
But Brian, do you want to reminisce? Do you remember?
You remember? Telling you, those member berries on South Park. Such a good bit.
Is it?
It is.
Is it something I should pull a sound clip for?
Not necessarily, but it is. It's just funny. You know, I've enjoyed the episodes so far this year because they're doing again. They're not doing like standalone episodes necessarily. They are standalone, but there's an overall narrative that's moving through the season.
I like it when they do that.
Me too, because they're doing it about the presidential election and
nice
and stuff. Yeah, because they brought back up the douche and turd sandwich. You know,
right?
You know, analogy, which is appropriate as usual.
Very much so.
And so. And then it's also dealing with someone who's bullying, like the girls online or something like that. So I'm with you. I appreciate when they have that overall narrative.
Well, those guys are so good at doing. Just writing stories like that.
Well, and that's the thing too. Is it's like obviously because the way they do the show, they have stuff that is like fresh from this week, built right into the show.
That is fascinating.
Yeah,
they pull that off every week.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's
very
impressive for sure. So, all right, I got that's all I got. You want to talk some Dude Mountain?
Oh, do I, or should I say, dude I?
Oh, that's awful.
Dude Mountain.
Dude Mountain. I still haven't added Thunderbolts and shit.
I still think you should just Krakow.
Good dude.
Yeah. And then echo effect on that, of course.
Oh, well, of course.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So obviously we're not going to go into full-blown coverage here, but I'll give you the top 3. Coming in number 1, and I do believe, you remember in the 300... how they climbed that mountain and there was those half-naked sages up there.
Mm-hmm.
The oracles.
Yeah.
I do believe the Furge must have an oracle. Because he is in the 99th percentile.
I know. Which is nuts.
It is crazy.
Considering
he'll be making money on this.
Right. I was going to say, considering he's, said that he knows nothing, basically. So
I know. I think we're all getting sharked.
I think you're right. He's he's actually just a bookie,
Yeah, exactly. It's a side gig.
Yeah.
He works for, fucking, I can't think of one of those bookie sites anymore.
Right. Naughtyboyproductions.com.
Yeah, exactly. Naughty Bets.
Naughty Bets. That sounds like someone named Betsy made their own site called naughtybets.com.
Should be.
Yeah.
So close to Naughty Bits. Why wouldn't they?
That's a good point, actually. It
right?
probably already exists. Yeah. If not, I'm registering it tonight.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, now coming in number 1 is FRJ, the Furge, our pal Jared.
Right.
Coming in after him is Devery himself, Big Dev from all the podcasts.
Wow, yeah.
And
Finally getting to see what the view looks like from the top.
I know, right? He's so used to just being covered in the fluids of Dude Mountain.
That's terrible.
I know, right?
That is not where anyone wants to be.
No, not at all. And coming in number 3 is the Space Pope, which I'm pretty sure is our pal Garrett.
Mm-hmm.
Garrett. I said Garrett. Can mix Garrett and Jared. That's what happens when they Voltron up and become football dominating beasts.
It's true.
They become Garrett.
How is Devin there? Is he just... He's just the meat in that?
He'll form the head.
He'll form something. Pants Orchard, probably.
Pants Orchard.
Wink.
It's supposed to be a record harvest from the Pants Orchard this season.
I gotta tell you, Tony, I'm having a rough year. It's not going well for me.
There's a big chunk of us tied for 4th. I'm in that group.
I'm not.
The next chunk is tied for 8th. You're in that group.
Yeah.
Then there's a tied for 10th chunk, and then there's the rest of our people.
Yeah.
Which you got to tell, friend of the show, Ashley, to get her picks in.
Did she not pick yesterday?
She's only picked week 1, it looks like.
Oh, jeez. All right.
I mean, unless for some reason she's into being the bottom of Dude Mountain.
Yeah.
Which nobody is.
I know she forgot her password, and I don't know if she remembered it or got my message, because I sent the group hey, don't forget to make your picks. So
to do all the picks.
Yeah. That's all right. We'll figure something out. If not, maybe I'll just, drop her out of the league, and if she wants to, and we'll fix that problem one way or the other. Because can't just give away the bottom.
No, exactly. It's usually a fight for the bottom,
right?
It really is. Not as I live in this.
It's really not a fight for the bottom. It's a fight for next to last. Because you just don't want to be last. Like if you're almost last, it still sucks. But
yeah, you don't want to be the cracker in this weird Dude Mountains turtle jerk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Yep.
So there's your Dude Mountain update.
Nice. All right, so let's see what we got here. Cue the W now time, I believe.
Oh, for sure. I still have a cue to W sound, so we'll go.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, good for you. So last week's, Brian, was what is the worst theme for a party?
Yeah.
Right. I got a couple of the face pages here.
Mm-hmm. Got
once again Dev, the queen of Dude Mountain.
Right.
Commenting on this. He says, social justice warrior party. Everyone's just sitting around pissed at everything is offensive. Accurate.
Yeah.
Matt McDonough from Pastors by Pod. Actually, these guys are going to be destroying each other's esophaguses and assholes together, which sounds super gay now that I said that.
Hey, listen, whatever makes you happy.
With hot wings.
Yeah. Well, that sounds even weirder.
That's true. He says Thai restaurants on Yelp.
Nice.
Which is a nice callback. But that's not really a party, so I'm not going to give you full credit.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. And then my lovely wife, Jeannie, says, and this turned into a whole conversation between her and I, she says an SS theme party.
Wait, because you got saluted or what?
No.
Oh,
it turned into a whole, like, are you talking like the Hitler Youth or what do we got going on here? So yeah, basically a Nazi themed party. Seems to be the worst theme for a party.
That seems pretty awful, yeah.
But snappily dressed.
Yeah, I mean
they all look good at least.
Terrible.
That's what I got on this end of the computer dub.
I got one on Twitter, and that was from previously mentioned Megan, actually, from wow, I'm blanking, Tony. The podcast
Screams and Moans?
Screams and Moans, thank you. I was like, the podcast we've been on twice.
A couple times.
Yeah, that I can't remember now all of a sudden. She said maybe Scat Wars, a Star Wars themed scat party.
Now that could be just entertaining.
It could be awful, though. I mean,
it could be awful.
Yeah, it's just going to be a mess no matter what.
Jeez, you know what's the worst part of that movie or that party?
What?
The trench run.
That is accurate, sir.
Yes.
Ooh, that'd be.
That is one dank trench.
Yeah. Let's see. What else do I have? I know I had an email here. Oh, here we go. From Cheeto Bandito making his triumphant return to emailing us. And actually I have one for last week, too. His worst theme for a party was the Holocaust. And he then put Imagine the Barbecue. Ugh. That's terrible. Why would you say something like that? Even if it is funny.
I'd say because it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's what I got for last week. The week before, he also said, which the question then was, what's the craziest thing you would actually do? And he said, no idea. I haven't gotten that drunk yet. It's like, well, sir, don't you think it's time?
Yeah, work on that.
That's right. Like, come on, man. You're letting us down. We need answers here.
I agree.
And actually, it's funny. I didn't specify that when I asked the question, but I was meaning, like, what's the craziest thing you would do sober, basically?
Right.
Not like I'm drunk and, you're drunk and your friend's like, hey, I don't know what, crazy. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to go karate kick a sign or something or knock mopeds over,
That's not crazy. That's just fun.
Exactly.
I don't know what you're talking about, Brian.
I know. I didn't name any names.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Karate kicks for Jesus. Still needs to be a shirt.
It does.
So this week, is that all you got?
Yeah, that's what I got. Yep.
Okay. So this week, Brian, it's kind of more of a little in-depth Q to W.
Okay.
False food.
Right.
I want you to build a sandwich inspired by a superhero.
You want me to build a sandwich inspired by a superhero, you say?
A superhero sandwich, if you will.
That's terrible, Tony.
It might be late. I might be tired.
Might be.
But I found that really funny.
It might be.
So like,
I got one, and I'm going to take a bullet for you here, but it's so
All right.
worth it. Not really for you. I'm just going to... I'm probably going to get hit. But, all right, so mine's going to be the Incredible Hulk, right? And
okay.
it's just going to be a microwaved meatloaf sandwich.
Wow.
Well, because, all the radiation.
All the radiation.
It's not gamma, but whatever. It's close enough.
Well, you like it when it's angry.
Yeah, I would just throw it right in the trash, though.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. So what about you?
I was, and as if you listen to all of our shows this upcoming Thursday, if you listen to us right now,
yeah,
we had another enthusiast, and we talk about comic books, and my first comic book came up, so my sandwich would be called The Punisher.
Oh, God.
And it'd be like pepper jack cheese, some extra spicy hot sauce, some pepperoncinis and all that good stuff, and it's got to have 6 or 7 layers of cheese, different types of cheese.
Right.
Because it's going to bind you up.
Right. I see where you're going with this. Yeah.
So it's going to punish you in and out.
Right.
That's what I'm going with. It's like a fiery grilled cheese of death.
That's a great name for it, though. I mean,
No, it's just a Punisher.
Oh, all right, fine.
I need some of that creepy Halloween Burger King black bread.
Oh yeah.
And then I can make some sort of mayonnaise skull on it or something.
A mayonnaise skull?
Yeah.
That sounds really odd.
Why not, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
I did see a corn on the cob recipe earlier today where you make the corn and then you make some sort of combination of butter and mayonnaise
Yeah.
to wipe on the corn,
Okay.
which I've never had mayonnaise on corn, but I'm
Yeah.
not opposed.
Okay.
And then you take this weird mayonnaise butter cob and you roll it in crushed up flaming hot Cheetos.
Okay. I could see that. So basically, are they basically calling it like a buffalo corn on the cob or something?
I don't know. They just called it flaming Cheetos corn on the cob.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't a very original name.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. It's not a flaming grilled cheese of death or whatever you called the other one.
Yeah, flaming grilled cheese of death.
Yeah, that's much
The
better.
picture was bizarre because it was, that unnatural color of a flaming red Cheeto.
Yeah.
It basically was that, but it looked like an angry red penis.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe they just fooled you
Maybe.
into looking at an angry red penis.
Maybe. You're right.
Right? At
It's
the bottom of the
exactly what
post.
EYC backstage.
Oh, Jesus. Damn it, Tony.
All right, good on myself.
I think you could have. You could
I'm
have.
just getting tired of this prom.
Nah, you're fine.
But yeah, so the Punisher, that's mine. So what I'd like to see from people for this week's QW is the superhero, and then what the sandwich is,
Right. That's
and then bonus points. Make a video of it and eat it.
Especially Tony's Punisher sandwich.
Yes, please.
Mm-hmm. No after picks, though, please.
No.
Yeah.
God damn it. I love Prado, and I don't know if he listens to our show anymore.
Yeah.
He keeps sending me snaps of toilets full of shit. It's really not what I want to see. The last one's just him staring into his phone, grinning. And then the camera flips, and it's just... I don't even know what it was. I don't know what's in the water in Staten Island.
Right.
Besides, it looked maybe a bunch of eels. I don't know what it was.
Right.
It was not good.
That's fair. Yeah. I could see you not wanting to receive those. That's
yeah, because I'm like,
awful.
Prado sent me a snap. What is this fun thing? It's probably going to be him walking the streets rapping.
Right.
No.
Close, but not quite.
Oh, my God. It's just like seaweed.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Speaking of scat wars.
Ugh. All right.
Don't make me fire back. I
A
won't.
little dry heat for the kids at home. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. All right. So let's move on from that.
Yeah, good call.
For sure. That's it. I got nothing else. You got anything else?
Dude, I'm tapped out over
All
here.
right. Well, let's wrap this up then. Go to Salty Language what?
I was like, I don't know much more we can cover. We've had
Nah, we've been all over the planet on this one.
homeless salutes and dicks and shit and pay and everything.
Apples.
Apple. I loved Apple Talk. I'll be honest.
Open mouth
That was
drumming.
a great way to open it. It was.
Right.
Most people are like, here we go.
Something about wrestling or some weird degenerate
exactly.
comic character.
It's going to be wrestling,
Yep.
or it's going to be some sort of sci-fi movie,
Yeah.
or it's going to be dick jokes, or they're going to make fun of the Challenger, or something horrible.
Yep.
No.
Yep. Nope. Should have sold in the Vegas line this week, folks.
Yes.
Ah,
It was delicious apples.
it was very delicious apples. Yeah. So go to saltylanguage.com, but you already knew that because you're good boys and girls, and you do the things you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
While you're there, check out the links and stuff that Tony will post, and Tony's blog is up there, so certainly check that out. Click the link to the YouTubes and go have a look-see around there. You can see the networks that we're part of at the bottom of the page, such as the Tangent Bound Network. We're on the Geek Life Radio, whatnot, and the other thing.
Danger! Watch your back! Danger!
Entertainment, I believe, also, nestles us to their bosoms.
Those are some delicious bosoms.
They are. So certainly go check out
Yeah.
Michael's bosoms over there.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's all the links are on the website if you need something, or hit us up on the Twitters maybe at salty_language. You can find me at Stunami.
I am at Monotony, attempting to get back into the Twitters.
Yes.
Feel free to email me at freepodcastgarbage@gmail.com if you want some free podcast garbage.
Yep. All nude pictures.
Hell yeah. It'd just be screen caps of Prado's awful toilet.
That would be great to just throw one of those in randomly.
That would be.
Fun.
Speaking of that, salty_language on the snappers. I'm there too.
Yeah, you can find me on there at Ninjitsu if you want to. I'm really not worth following, but once in a while I'm like, hey, I'll post something.
I have my days. I did our Glorious Bomb today.
Oh yeah, that was nice. Yeah,
Yeah, you like that?
I did. Yeah,
I actually had a few people send me some people I never talked to send me snaps like, this thing is hilarious.
right. Exactly. That song's so good. The song is the part of it that makes it so great.
Yeah.
And the creepiness of the moving the camera slowly to show the other person, and then the song, perfect. So
Yeah,
good.
this morning was perfect. As soon as she heard that opening note, nope, she walks
that was
away
great.
from
Yeah.
me. I
See?
love tormenting my children.
What's happened is you found a way for parents to get their kids to leave them alone for a minute.
It's true.
You stumbled into a great technique, man.
I know, right?
I mean, it wasn't, obviously it's, from someone else, but it was still,
I do not take any credit for it.
Yeah.
But I am hooking my wagon to that horse.
Damn right. Yeah, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano are the two who, as far as I know, started it, you know. Or they're the most famous who've done it, which counts as the same thing in this society.
It's true. Sad but true.
Yeah.
Speaking of Lars.
True enough. All right. So, yeah, we've given you all the links now. So I guess until next week, have a beer, you'll be fine.
Stay flaming hot Cheetoed.
And be careful where what kind of orchard you're picking your apples from.
It's true.
Also, go have a sweet tango. Hurry.
Sweet tango.
Hurry.
Wait, Brian?
What? Too late. They're already gone.
Flaming hot Cheetos. Is that Cheeto Bandito's alternate ego?
It's him in hot pants.
That's pretty hot. Or wait, what was the pair? That's hot.
Yeah. All right.
Are we still recording?
Yeah, we are. Of course.
Of course we are.
Yeah, we're done now.
Oh,
Seriously,
cool.
go watch Luke Cage, dummies.